Namaste, my beloved friends. Never judge a person by his or her sexual orientation. Because just like you, that person is also carrying a long journey of past life impressions, past life desires, past life attractions, past life memories, and past life sanskaras. You are not new. I am not new. Nobody is new. Only the body is new. Only the name is new. Only the family is new. Only the outer identity is new. But the soul is ancient. The soul has traveled through many births, many bodies, many relationships, many attachments, many desires, and many emotional experiences. So when you see a person having same sex attraction, do not immediately judge. Do not condemn. Do not insult. Do not say this is wrong. Do not say this is a disease. Do not say this is a curse. Do not say this is family dishonor. No. First, understand. Because understanding is higher than judgment. If you discover that your son or daughter is gay, yes, initially it may shock you, it may disturb your mind, it may break your expectations, it may shake your social conditioning, but once you understand the deeper spiritual truth, you will realize that this may not be something that has suddenly appeared in this life. It may be a continuation of past life sanskaras. It may be a continuation of past life vasanas. It may be an old emotional test carried by the soul. It may be a relationship pattern that has traveled from previous births into this birth. Just as some people are born with natural inclination toward music, spirituality, wealth, power, solitude, devotion, renunciation, beauty, or art, similarly, some souls may also come with a certain sexual orientation or romantic attraction carried from past birth cycles. This is why condemnation will not help. Shame will not help. Punishment will not help. Forceful marriage will not help. Emotional blackmail will not help. Because you cannot beat a sanskara out of a soul. You cannot threaten a vasana out of a person. You cannot erase past life impressions through anger. Only awareness can heal. Only acceptance can soften. Only love can bring light. So if your child is gay, your first duty is not to condemn the child. Your first duty is to understand the child. Your first duty is to protect the child from shame. Your first duty is to make the child feel that your love is bigger than society's judgment. Because a child who is condemned by the world still survives. But a child who is condemned by parents breaks from within. And astrology should never be used to break someone. Astrology should be used to understand someone. A birth chart is not a courtroom. A birth chart is a mirror. And the purpose of a mirror is not to punish the face. The purpose of a mirror is to reveal the truth. So today, when we discuss gay astrology, same-sex attraction, sexual orientation, Venus, Mars, Moon, Rahu, Ketu, Kama Trikona, D9 Navamsha, and the deeper karmic patterns of desire, let us remember one thing. We are not here to label anyone. We are not here to shame anyone. We are not here to expose anyone. We are here to understand how desire travels through lifetimes. We are here to understand how attraction carries past memory. We are here to understand how the soul expresses its unfinished emotional and romantic patterns through the birth chart. Because love is not always according to social grammar. Sometimes love follows the grammar of karma. And when you understand karma, judgment begins to dissolve. And you will be surprised to know that many great achievers in this world, successful entrepreneurs, powerful CEOs, creative film personalities, artists, writers, thinkers, politicians, and people in high positions of authority have belonged to different sexual orientations. So never think that if your child is gay, then your child's life is finished. Never think that your child cannot succeed. Never think that your child cannot become powerful, respected, wealthy, creative, spiritual, or highly influential. Sexual orientation does not decide the height of a person's destiny. Character decides, talent decides, discipline decides, karma decides, courage decides, and above all, the grace of the divine decides. Many people who were judged by the society later became the very people society celebrated. Many people who were rejected in private became respected in public. Many people who were misunderstood in childhood became powerful examples for the entire world. So if one day you discover that your son or your daughter is gay, do not immediately go into fear. Do not think, what will happen to my child? Do not think, how will my child live? Do not think, will my child ever succeed? Your child may still have tremendous potential. Your child may still achieve great success. Your child may still rise very high in career, creativity, leadership, business, art, politics, spirituality, or public life. Because the soul's potential is not cancelled by sexual orientation. A horoscope does not become weak because a person is gay. A destiny does not become small because love expresses itself differently. If the chart has strong karma, strong intelligence, strong Venus, strong Mercury, strong Sun, strong 10th house, strong 11th house, strong Mahadasha, and strong willpower, then the person can rise beautifully in life. So parents must understand this. Your child does not need your shame. Your child needs your strength. Your child does not need your fear. Your child needs your acceptance. Your child does not need your condemnation. Your child needs your blessings. Because when a child receives acceptance from parents, half the battle of life is already won. And when a child receives rejection from parents, even success feels lonely. Therefore, never reduce a soul to sexual orientation. A person is not only gay, a person is a complete universe. A person is karma, talent, pain, dreams, intelligence, love, struggle, destiny, and divine possibility. So do not close the door of success for your child because of one aspect of their destiny or identity. Rather, give them love, give them courage, give them values, give them discipline, give them spiritual grounding, and you may be surprised how high that soul can rise. Now, let us slowly enter the major astrological observations, and please listen very carefully. These combinations should never be used to judge, condemn, expose, or label anyone. These combinations are only for deeper understanding because astrology is not black and white. Astrology is not one planet. Astrology is not one yoga. Astrology is not one nakshatra. Astrology is not one divisional chart. Astrology is a complete web of karma. So when we discuss same-sex attraction, gay marriage or gay orientation or unconventional sexual orientation, we must observe multiple factors together. Do not take one combination and declare this person is gay. No. That is immature astrology. That is dangerous astrology. That is astrology without compassion. A mature astrologer observes the whole pattern. A mature astrologer sees the third house, the seventh house, the 11th house, the fifth house, the 8th house, 12th house, Venus, Mars, Moon, Rahu, Jupiter, D9 Navamsha, Dasha, Nakshatra, and real life confirmation. Only when many indicators repeat, the chart begins to speak. Now, the first important concept is Kama Trikona. The third house, seventh house, and 11th house are Kama houses. Kama means desire. Kama means attraction. Kama means pleasure. Kama means the urge to experience. Kama means the longing to connect. Kama means the hunger of the body, the mind, senses, and emotions. So when we study sexual orientation, we should not look only at the 7th house or only at the 8th house. We must observe the Kama Trikona, the 3rd house, the 7th house, and 11th house. The 3rd house shows the courage of desire. It shows curiosity. It shows experimentation. It shows self-expression. It shows the first personal movement toward what one wants. The 7th house shows the person toward whom desire moves. It shows relationship. It shows partnership. It shows attraction toward the other. It shows physical union and emotional mirroring. The 11th house shows fulfillment of desire. It shows social circles. It shows friendships. It shows communities. It shows the kind of people through whom our desires are fulfilled. So remember this beautiful formula. The 3rd house begins desire. The 7th house seeks union. The 11th house fulfills desire. Therefore, Venus, Mars, Moon, Rahu, Ketu, the 5th Lord, the 7th Lord, the 8th Lord, or 12th Lord connect strongly with the 3rd, 7th, and 11th houses then the astrologer must carefully study the person's desire pattern. In the natural zodiac also, Gemini, Libra and Aquarius are connected with the Kama Trikona. Gemini is curiosity, Libra is attraction, Aquarius is unconventional social identity. Gemini asks, what do I want to explore? Libra asks, who am I attracted to? Aquarius asks, where do I belong? Especially when society calls me different. So if Gemini, Libra and Aquarius become strongly activated through Venus, Mars, Moon, Rahu, Ketu, 5th Lord, 7th Lord, 8th house Lord or 12th house Lord, then the chart may show a more complex pattern of desire, attraction and relationship identity. Now let us understand the role of Rahu. Rahu is extremely important in this subject. Rahu is taboo. Rahu is unconventional desire. Rahu is boundary breaking attraction. Rahu is the hunger to experience what society may not approve. Rahu does not move according to social rules. Rahu does not ask what will people say. Rahu asks what is the experience I must test. So when Rahu influences Venus, Moon, Mars, the 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house, 5th house, 8th house or 12th house, the person's attraction pattern may become non-traditional. Rahu with Venus can show unconventional romance. Rahu with Mars can show experimental sexual desire. Rahu with Moon can show unusual emotional needs. Rahu connected with the 7th house can show unconventional partners. Rahu connected with the 8th house can show taboo sexuality. Rahu connected with the 12th house can show hidden pleasures, secret fantasies or private desire pattern. And Rahu connected with the 11th house can show fulfillment of desire through unusual social circles, different communities, friends or people outside the traditional family approved structure. This is why Rahu becomes a major planet in understanding same-sex attraction or unconventional sexual orientation. But Rahu alone does not make anyone gay. Rahu can also show foreign relationships, intercaste marriage, inter-religion marriage, age gap relationship, extramarital attraction, secret love, obsession or attraction towards socially unavailable people. So Rahu must be studied with the full chart. Now let us understand Ketu's role. Ketu is past life. Ketu is residue. Ketu is memory without explanation. Ketu is the silent continuation of what the soul has already experienced. When Ketu influences Moon, Venus, Mars, the 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house, 5th house, 8th house or 12th house, the person may carry past life relationship sanskaras. This is why some people say, from childhood I knew I was different. They did not learn it from society. They did not decide it intellectually. They simply felt it. That is the language of Ketu. Ketu does not explain. Ketu remembers. Ketu says, this has traveled with me. So Moon Ketu can show emotional memory from past births. Venus Ketu can show past life romantic impressions. Mars Ketu can show unusual sexual detachment or karmic sexual residue. Ketu connected with the 7th house can show past life relationship karma. Ketu connected with the 8th house can show deep hidden sanskaras around sexuality. And Ketu connected with the Kama Trikona can show desire patterns that are not newly created in this birth but continued from previous birth cycles. Now let us come to Venus. Venus is one of the most important planets in this subject. Venus is attraction, Venus is beauty, Venus is romance, Venus is sensuality, Venus is taste. Venus shows what kind of love we are drawn toward. Venus shows the type of beauty that pulls our heart. Venus shows the flavor of attraction. So when Venus associates with Rahu in the D1 birth chart, it can show attraction beyond social norms. It can show unusual romantic taste. It can show taboo attraction. It can show desire that does not fit the ordinary pattern. But the real depth comes when Venus Rahu repeats in the D9 Navamsha chart. D9 is very important. D1 shows the outer life pattern. D9, that is Navamsha, shows the deeper relationship dharma. D9 shows the inner maturity of Venus. That is why the dignity of planet is seen through D9. D9 shows the subtle truth of bonding, intimacy, partnership and marriage karma. So if Venus Rahu is seen in D1 and Venus Rahu or Venus Ketu repeats in D9, or if Venus in D9 is strongly connected with Rahu, Ketu, the 7th lord, 8th house or 12th house, then the indication becomes stronger. Because now the theme is not only in the outer chart, it is repeated in the relationship soul chart, that is the D9 chart. This is why I always say, never ignore Navamsha, especially in matters of love, marriage, sexuality, attraction and relationship identity. D9 must be studied very carefully. Now, another important factor is the association of Venus with the 8th house lord. The 8th house is sexuality. The 8th house is secrecy. The 8th house is taboo. The 8th house is hidden desire. The 8th house is psychological intimacy. The 8th house is the room that society does not see. So when Venus joins the 8th lord, or Venus is aspected by the 8th lord, or Venus goes into the 8th house, or the 8th house lord goes into a Venusian house, or Venus connects with the 8th lord in the Kama Trikona, then attraction becomes deeper, more secretive, more intense and more psychologically complex. If Rahu or Ketu also influences this Venus 8th lord connection, then the person's romantic and sexual pattern may become unconventional or hidden. Again, this does not automatically mean same-sex attraction or gay marriage or gay relationship, but it becomes one important clue when supported by other factors. Now, one more subtle observation is Venus in certain Ketu nakshatras, especially Moola, Ashwini and Magha. These three nakshatras are ruled by Ketu. Ketu means past life residue. Ketu means root memory. Ketu means detachment from ordinary worldly definitions. Ketu means something that has already been lived before. So when Venus, the planet of love and attraction, is placed in Moola nakshatra, Ashwini nakshatra or Magha nakshatra, the person's romantic taste may carry strong past life impressions. Moola goes to the root. Moola destroys falsehood. Moola wants the raw truth. Venus in Moola Nakshatra can show love that does not remain superficial. It can uproot social conditioning and force the person to face the real root of desire. Ashwini is instinctive. Ashwini is fast. Ashwini is primal. Ashwini carries a raw impulse of life force. Venus in Ashwini can give a very instinctive, immediate, and karmically fresh expression of attraction. Magha is ancestral. Magha is lineage. Magha carries the weight of past life authority, throne, identity, and inherited sanskaras. Venus in Magha can show attraction patterns connected with old karmic pride, lineage memory, and previous birth emotional identity. Now, if such Venus is at 0 degree or very early degree, the observation becomes even more subtle. A planet at 0 degree is like a soul entering a new room with an old memory. It is fresh in this sign, but it is not free from past karma. So Venus at 0 degree in a Ketu's nakshatra may show a new expression of an old desire. The outer life is new, but the inner taste is old. The body is new, but the attraction may carry previous birth sanskara. This is why Venus in Moola, Ashwini or Magha, especially at early degrees or 0 degree, should be observed carefully when other combinations also support unconventional attraction. But again, please remember, Venus in Moola alone does not make anyone gay. Venus in Ashwini alone does not make anyone gay. Venus in Magha alone does not make anyone gay. 0 degree Venus alone does not make anyone gay. Only when these factors connect with Rahu, Ketu, Kama Trikona, 8th Lord, 12th house, D9 Navamsha, Moon, Mars, and real life tendencies, then the observation becomes meaningful. Now let us come to one more important factor, Jupiter. Jupiter is dharma, Jupiter is wisdom, Jupiter is tradition, Jupiter is moral guidance, Jupiter is the guru principle. Jupiter shows the ability to align desire with dharma. When Jupiter is strong and well placed, the person may have better inner guidance, clarity, and alignment with traditional values. But when Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn or Jupiter is retrograde and placed in the 8th house, then the guru principle becomes complicated. Debilitated Jupiter in Capricorn can show a struggle with traditional moral frameworks. The person may not easily follow society's standard definition of dharma. There may be a conflict between social morality and inner truth. Jupiter retrograde in the 8th house can show deep introspection around taboo sexuality, secrecy, hidden knowledge, and private transformation. It can show a person whose belief system is not ordinary. It can show karmic questioning of conventional morality. It can show hidden spiritual conflict around desire, intimacy, and truth. Now, this does not mean debilitated Jupiter or retrograde Jupiter in the 8th house makes someone gay. No, that would be a very wrong conclusion. But when Jupiter is weak, debilitated, retrograde, or placed in the 8th house, and at the same time Venus, Rahu, Ketu, Kama Trikona, that is the 3rd, 7th, 11th house, 8th house, 12th house, and D9 chart also show non-traditional relationship patterns, then Jupiter becomes another supporting factor. It shows that the person's relationship with social dharma, traditional morality, and accepted relationship structure may not be simple. The person may have to find his or her own truth rather than blindly live by society's definition. So, the most important rule is this: do not isolate any one placement. Do not isolate Venus Rahu. Do not isolate Moon Ketu. Do not isolate Venus in Moola. Do not isolate Jupiter debilitated. Do not isolate the 8th Lord with Venus. Do not isolate Kama Trikona. Always observe the relationship between all these factors. Astrology is not a single note. Astrology is a symphony. One note may create curiosity, but only the full symphony reveals the truth. So if Kama Trikona is activated, Venus is connected with Rahu, Ketu is influencing Moon or Venus, the 8th Lord is connected with Venus, D9 repeats Venus Rahu or Venus Ketu, Venus sits in Ketu Nakshatra like Moola, Ashwini or Magha, Venus is at early degrees, and Jupiter is also debilitated or retrograde in the 8th house, then the astrologer must carefully observe the possibility of unconventional sexual orientation or same-sex attraction. But even then, the final word must be spoken with humility. Always say, the chart may show unconventional attraction. The chart may show non-traditional sexual orientation. Or this chart may show same-sex attraction if supported by real-life experience. Never say, this one yoga proves the person is gay, because astrology should not become judgment. Astrology should become understanding. And the highest purpose of astrology is not to label the person. The highest purpose of astrology is to understand the hidden journey of the soul. And now, as we move toward conclusion, let me share a beautiful Zen story of a woman called Rengetsu. Rengetsu was a Zen woman, a poet, a mystic, a soul of great beauty and silence. One evening, she was traveling and reached a village. It was getting dark. She needed shelter for the night. So she went from one house to another, asking people if they could give her a place to rest. But the villagers refused. Nobody allowed her inside. Nobody opened the door of compassion. Nobody gave her shelter. And this is how society often behaves with those who are different. Society does not always ask, who is this soul? Society asks, does this person fit into our idea? Society does not always see the heart. Society sees the label. Society sees the difference. Society sees what it cannot understand. So Rengetsu was rejected by the village. Finally, she went outside the village and slept under a cherry tree. In the middle of the night, she woke up. The sky was silent. The moon was shining. The mist was floating. The cherry blossoms were blooming. And in that moment, something beautiful happened. The same village that had rejected her had unknowingly given her a great shelter. The open sky, the moon, the mist, the flowers, the fragrance of the flowers, and the whole existence. She did not become bitter. She did not curse the villagers. She did not say, "Why did they reject me?" She simply looked at the beauty of the night and wrote a poem, a beautiful poem. The meaning of her poem was, "Because the villagers refused me shelter, I found myself under the cherry blossoms and the misty moon." What a beautiful understanding. Only a spiritual heart can see this. A normal person would feel insulted. A normal person would feel wounded. A normal person would become angry. But a meditative soul transforms rejection into a poetry. Rengetsu did not receive shelter from human beings, but she received shelter from existence. She was rejected by society, but accepted by the divine. And this is the message I want to give today. Many times, society rejects those who are different. Society rejects what it cannot understand. Society rejects what does not fit into its old moral frame. But remember, society is not the final judge of your soul. The divine is greater than society. Existence is greater than public opinion. Your inner truth is greater than social approval. So if you are someone who has felt rejected because of your sexual orientation, your emotional truth, your relationship pattern, or your identity, remember Rengetsu. Do not become bitter. Do not become hateful. Do not destroy yourself because somebody refused to understand you. If one door closes, the sky may open. If one village rejects you, existence may receive you. If society refuses to give you shelter, the divine may show you a much larger shelter. And if you are a parent, do not become that village. Do not close your door on your own child. Do not make your child search for shelter outside when your home could become the first temple of acceptance. Because when the world rejects a child, the child can still survive. But when parents reject the child, something very deep breaks inside. So do not become the village that refused shelter. Become the cherry tree. Become the moon. Become the silent sky under which your child can rest without fear. This is real spirituality. This is real love. This is real astrology. Astrology is not meant to reject. Astrology is meant to reveal. Astrology is not meant to condemn. Astrology is meant to create understanding. And when understanding comes, judgment disappears. Buddha says to understand everything is to forgive everything. Buddha further says, true love is born from understanding. And so when understanding comes, judgment disappears. When judgment disappears, compassion begins. And when compassion begins, love becomes divine. The spiritual master Osho says beautifully, my whole love and respect is for the person who accepts himself totally as he is. He has courage. He has courage to face the whole pressure of the society which is bent upon splitting him into divisions, into good and bad, into saint and sinner. He is really a brave, courageous being who stands against the whole history of men, of morality, and declares to the sky his reality, whatever it is. This is very powerful. Because the greatest courage in life is not to impress society. The greatest courage in life is to accept yourself totally. The greatest courage is to stand in your truth without hatred, without guilt, without shame, and without pretending to be someone else. Society always wants to split you. Society says this part of you is good, this part of you is bad. Society says show this, hide that. Society says be acceptable even if you are false. But spirituality says be real, because the divine does not meet you in your false personality. The divine meets you in your truth. And you remember the story of Jabala and Satyakam that I shared in my last podcast. It was all about being truthful. And astrology, when used rightly, helps you come closer to that truth. It shows why you are the way you are. It shows where your desires come from. It shows what sanskaras are carried from the past. It shows what karmic patterns are asking to be understood in this life. So I genuinely appeal to parents whose children are gay. Accept them as they are. Because it is only through acceptance that healing begins. It is only through acceptance that trust begins. It is only through acceptance that the child can move forward in life without hiding, without guilt, and without shame. Whenever you get time, you can read my book, Beauty of Acceptance, which is also available on Amazon. So, do not break them. Do not shame your children. Do not force them into a life where their soul suffocates. Give them values. Give them strength. Give them discipline. Give them spiritual grounding. Give them the confidence to live with dignity. Because sexual orientation does not cancel destiny. Sexual orientation does not cancel intelligence. Sexual orientation does not cancel success. Sexual orientation does not cancel divine grace. Your child still has a destiny. Your child still has a purpose. Your child still has talent, has karma. Your child still has a divine possibility. Love is not always according to social grammar. Sometimes love follows the grammar of karma. And when you understand karma, judgment begins to dissolve. When judgment dissolves, compassion begins. And when compassion begins, astrology becomes sacred. Jai Sri Ganesha. Jai Guru.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.